Still grabbing vertices one by one today? Spending all day on skinning grunt work? Animation keys already keep you busy and this brutal skinning still traps you. If you still can't go home, please watch till the end. Today we'll talk about why skinning is this painful, and how we actually solve that problem. I've seen animators at game studios who got into rigging, but almost nobody who enjoys skin weight grunt work. Clicking vertices all day really wrecks your wrist. So why is skinning in 3ds Max this painful in the first place? If you've done skinning, you already know this. You assign weights so each vertex follows the right bones. And for every vertex, those weights always add up to 1100%. Characters these days are often high poly, and fixing weights one by one makes you wonder what you're doing. When a vertex only has 1 or 2 bone weights, it's fine. The problem starts when one vertex has to split weight across 3 or 4 bones or more. Let me show you an example. When you add or subtract a bone's weight on a vertex, something else has to give so the total stays at 1. But 3ds Max has no lock for a specific bone's weight, so when you add or subtract, other bones change too. Without lock, weights you already finished get wrecked, and you end up fixing the same spots over and over. Even if you start with Max's default envelope capsules, twist and helper bones still force vertex fixes. So today I want to introduce a tool that can get you home earlier: SkinLayer Studio. Before we dive into every feature, let's cover the core mechanism first. 2 things make skinning actually efficient. We used to keep every vertex in one shared space and shuffle weights from this bone to that bone. But in SkinLayer Studio, you separate layers by body part and stack skin values so you don't re-edit the same vertices. You know how Photoshop layers work, right? You paint on the bottom layer, then add a layer on top and paint again. Whatever sits underneath gets hidden. Same idea here. Pelvis at the bottom, then spine, thigh, calf, foot, neck. You stack layers like that as you work. Because it's split by body part, you just touch the thigh layer to fix only the thigh. And each layer needs a mask, only the white parts show up in the final result. White shows the skin data. Black hides it. Say you painted weights on the thigh layer like this. Only the white mask shows in the final result, so you can ignore the black, hidden areas. You're not repainting weights to fix things. The mask decides how far the painted weights show. In the end, these per part layers stack up in order into one skin dataset and get sent back to Max. While you work, layers stay fully separate by region, so edits get much easier. Why does this actually help in production? Say you're fixing vertices around the thigh. In the old workflow, changing weights would break values you didn't want touched, then you'd fix those too. With SkinLayer Studio, if you want the thigh bone to reach a bit higher, just expand the mask. Done. Expand that mask slightly, and the weight you painted white underneath pops out past the mask and applies immediately. That is the most ideal non-destructive skinning workflow. That's the mechanism. Next, install and usage a quick tour. First, SkinLayer Studio is separate from Max. SkinLayer Studio x64 setup.x. You install it on your PC, then launch the app and do your skinning there. After you launch, activate the license and install the DCC Connector for your Max version. The DCC Connector is the script that lets Max files load into the skin tool. Once everything is installed, before you load a mesh, the rig bone setup should already be done. And the mesh's skin modifier should already have every bone you need for skinning. Loading a mesh is even simpler. With Max open, select the mesh and hit Pick. It loads right away. Click Pick All to load every checked mesh, or pick only the ones you want. Once the mesh is in, you can even preview skin test animation data inside the tool. Select a mesh in Skin Desk at the bottom left and it becomes active. Select a bone on the right, and weights show as color. Same as Max, a weight of 1 is red, and 0 is blue. Press 5 for shaded mode, 4 for wireframe, and check as you go. Brush size, use the bracket keys to shrink or grow it. Strength and brush mode can be changed here too. When you paint the front, screen mode punches through. Surface mode paints only the faces you see. While painting, hold Shift and scrub to blend and soften the values. Flood the same value on every vertex, or use the eyedropper Ito, pick a weight and apply it to other vertices. In option setting hotkey, remap shortcuts as you like. There are also presets for Max Maya Blender users. When skinning is done, click Apply to Skin and it transfers values into the Max Skin modifier. But if it crashes mid-skinning, hours of work can vanish. Turn on Auto, and every 30 seconds after you edit, skin data is pushed to the Max file. It works with Maya and Blender too, not just 3ds Max. Even if you don't use Biped Plus, you can still use SkinLayer Studio. If you're interested, check the link in the description. You might think Max already has envelope skinning in a paint tool, so why bother with SkinLayer Studio? Here are 5 advantages that are unique to it. First, and biggest, thanks to layers and masks, you get a non-destructive process unlike Max alone. Each bone has lock, so bones you want to keep stay fixed, you only edit what you need. And while skinning, for all kinds of reasons, extra bones get added mid-job. Add the bone in Max, reload into SkinLayer Studio, and existing weights stay, only the new bone is added. Second, same body, many outfits transfer weights quickly, moves skin data onto another mesh. For example, weights you painted on the base body can be transferred onto a clothing mesh. You might think, isn't that just skin wrap in 3ds Max? Why'd I need this? With skin wrap, weights often tangle or pop with bugs. SkinLayer Studio transfers them cleanly, without those bugs. With Sync Map, you can move skin data onto multiple meshes at once much faster. You'll still clean up after the transfer, but layers by region make that cleanup more efficient. Third, you can assign consistent weight values. Imagine a skirt with about 20 bones. Giving each bone consistent weights is really painful. Like in the video, apply skin values along one bone line, then copy that onto the other bones. I watched a really efficient skirt skinning video. I'll leave the link above if you want to watch it. On tight areas like fingers, with bones packed close, finger weights often tangle and get hard to fix. Same idea as the skirt. Make a layer group, split each finger onto its own layer, and manage them cleanly. If that clicked, you can already feel why this tool speeds you up. For the detailed layer group workflow, check the video above. Last, the real advantage is ongoing updates. Create dummy just shipped recently. For meshes stacked tight against the body or hair, messy overlapping meshes become much faster to work. Create a dummy on the region you want. Weights are already applied so they blend naturally. Use smooth layer to soften the weights even more. Then transfer weights from the dummy onto your real mesh, and even complex meshes go quickly. Those are SkinLayer Studio's 5 advantages. The goal is a top-tier skinning solution for every DCC, not just 3ds Max, but Maya, Blender, and more. I'm excited to see how much further it goes. Once you try it, it's simple enough. Give it a shot. Honest first impressions after I tried it. I've almost only used Max until now, so stacking layers took a little time to understand. Is this actually more effective? Painting masks too, isn't that just extra work? That's what I thought. Then I thought, why doesn't Max work this way? Because it's split by body part layers, new bones or meshes get their own layer. It feels genuinely efficient. You click fewer individual vertices too, so your wrist actually hurts less. Someone in production said a 4.5-day job could be done in a single day in SkinLayer Studio. Even a beginner cut their time by over 40%. If you're an animator who also does rigging and skinning, a character rigger, or a student stuck on skinning, or if you use Maya, Blender, and 3ds Max together, SkinLayer Studio should really help. Biped Plus also got a quick skin update. Check Fast Ref and Biped Plus while you're here. For my channel viewers, I prepared a subscriber coupon. If you're interested, check the description in the pinned comment. Best investment you can make for your wrists and for actually leaving on time. That's a wrap. Thanks for watching.